Hey guys, today I'm going to do a little sketch and painting and review of the Etchr wood pulp watercolor block that I got in one of my mystery boxes. I'm not quite sure which because it came in both mystery boxes. I'm also going to use the watercolor brushes that I got in the Painter's Delight box, which I am really looking forward to trying. I love finding new good brushes, and I've got high hopes. I've got high hopes for these watercolor brushes because they look really good. They look like they're pretty nice, and I can always use some new watercolor brushes. As I still haven't found like my favorites yet, but I'm getting really close. Also, don't laugh at me too hard because I'm primarily a landscape artist, and that's really where I started my whole painting journey, and I still love to do landscapes, but I really want to expand my abilities to include animals, especially cats. So today I'll be trying to draw my cat, and we'll see how it comes out. I'm not very good at cats, which makes no sense. I've had cats all my life. You'd think I'd be good at this, but not so much. So this could look terrible, and that's okay. Never be afraid to try new things or to push your skills, and don't be scared to show that off. Everybody starts somewhere, and being bad is okay. I'm going to share this footage and video no matter how happy or unhappy I am with the results. So if it's a horrible Franken-Kitty, then you're going to see a horrible Franken-Kitty. Hey guys, I just finished painting this. It is now finally dry, and I'd like to go ahead and get my thoughts out while I'm thinking about them instead of waiting until I record the rest of my voiceover. So we're going to talk about this right now. This is the Etchr Watercolor Block cold press that I just got in the Painter's Delight or the Smooth Operator. I don't know which one. I got out of one of them because it came out both. Just got done painting on this, and overall, not horrible, but not great either. I like the fact that it's on a block. That makes all the difference. I love blocks. The only time I like paper to not be in a block situation is in a sketchbook, and then I'm okay with it kind of, you know, wibbling and wobbling and doing what it does. But as far as pads of watercolor paper, not a fan. I know there are tricks. I've had to use them with arches where you have to wet both sides of the paper, even though it's 100% watercolor, to keep it from warping so much when you're using it. I don't really like that technique. It's not fun for me. I don't really like it. I'll use it if I have to. I get it, but not really my thing. This is my cat, literally my cat, and there are things I like about this. Like I said, the block is really good. It actually handled watercolor paint pretty well. It handled layers pretty well. I didn't have any problems with pilling. I did have a tiny problem right here with hitting it a little too hard with my pencil and it fell on my hand and having to erase that. That became kind of a problem spot. Other than that, I didn't have too much trouble with the cellulose itself. I'm not wild about cellulose. I don't like the fact that it's easier to pick the pigment up. Like if I brush it with my hand, I get all the pigment on my hand and it comes off the paper. Not an issue with cotton. Most of the pigment from cotton will sink into the cotton and it's hard to get up. So good points, bad points. If you really like pulling color out, then cellulose is probably more of a friend, although I can do it with cotton. I just have to do it very, very, very quickly. But you can do it with cotton. You just have to be right on the ball. So let's compare these a little bit. Let me pull this out of its container. This painting, let me get it in the frame, would be helpful. This painting is 100% watercolor paper on one of these Bao 100% cotton watercolor paper I get on Amazon. This is my go-to watercolor paper. It's also in a block. You can see I've used the snot out of it. It's got a bunch of green stuff all over it, so this block has been well used. I have several blocks in several different sizes. This is my go-to. This is the cheapest paper I found that I enjoy working with. And as you can see, these have kind of a similar color palette when it comes to the oranges here. And you can see I was able to layer and layer and layer and layer and layer onto this, and the color is beautiful. It's very vibrant, very deep. It's just really gorgeous. Same exact paints too. Both of them are using the tonic watercolors from Federal. I get these from St. Louis Art Supply. I really like these in particular. I have that so that my cat's fur doesn't get in the paint, because otherwise it will, and it's really, see, there's a little cat fur right there. I like these a lot. They're in huge tubs, and I get really annoyed with my other watercolor palettes having to constantly refill them when I'm using it at home. So this is my desk set. I keep this here at my desk. I don't take it out with me anywhere. And these are just some basic colors. I really love them. They're very vibrant. They don't take a lot. They're highly, highly pigmented. And they just, look at this. This is, I love the color on this. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm not tooting my own horn. I'm just talking about the colors that I can get from it. I went over this, I don't know how many times. You can also notice that these yellows here are a lot brighter over here than they are over here. So I'm noticing a distinct difference in how the pigment lays on the paper and how deep or rich the colors can be. Like, this is very pretty. Again, these watercolors are bang on, really, really pigmented. So I really, really enjoy those. But looking at the yellows and the oranges here and even the reds, because I definitely used some reds and you can barely tell. I kept going over it and over it and over it and over it, trying to get more pigment into this. I don't know how many times I went over this with the yellow, and I just could not get enough pigment into this paper. So I'm going to stick with the cotton. I really love cotton. As I said, the colors on this are just really nice. As far as the way it acts on the paper, again, same exact paints. This is a little smoother. These are both cold press, so they both have quite a bit of tooth to them. You can definitely see in some of these areas how I got a little bit more granulation And that's all paper that is not the color. These are not terribly granulating. They can. You can definitely see a couple of spots here where there's definitely some granulation happening. So I like that. However, this is definitely granulating quite a bit more. Let's hope my camera is going to focus for me. Like, you can really see there are a bunch of spots here where the paint really settled into this cellulose paper. So I'm not mad. Like, I'm definitely going to use these, no question, but I'm definitely going to use these more for practice. I am not going to put like finished works, I think, on this necessarily, but I'll use it up. But I would never buy this again. Not that there's anything wrong with cellulose paper, it's just not my preference. And just to get into it just a tiny bit, I did yet more calculations because I was waiting for something to bake. So why not do some calculations while I wait? The Bao is also probably the most economic paper I've found that also gives me the best performance and bang for the buck. So these sheets right here, 16 sheets for the pad, $21.80. That's about $1.36 a sheet. Now remember, that's for cellulose paper. This is wood pulp. These are 100% cotton and of the same size. I know this isn't the same size, but I went on Amazon and found this size. For the exact same size, for 20 sheets, you are paying $23.95, which is $1.20 a sheet. So this is almost $1.40 a sheet. This is $1.20 a sheet. This is 100% cotton, and I can get that for cheaper than I'm paying for the Etcher. Arches, just for sake of comparison, is at about where did I put it? Okay, for their pad of paper, because I don't think Arches even makes blocks, but for their pads of paper, you're paying $1.70 a sheet. So you're saving about 50 cents a sheet by using something like Bao. Like I said, I love the pads too, so they're just winning T to B, top to bottom here. As far as that goes, like I said, it wasn't terrible. I like the result. I actually kind of suck at cats, which I'm sure I mentioned earlier. And that actually didn't come out too bad, so happy about that. As for the... So let's talk a little bit about the watercolor brushes. I like these. These were pretty good. These were actually... Oh my god, are you not focusing again? Camera! Oh my god, camera, what is your major malfunction here? Okay, here. Will this help? If I put this here, can you focus on that? I don't know what happened. I do not know why this is having so much trouble focusing. It's a good camera. It's just not going to focus for me. Come on, baby. Hold it. Hold that focus. Oh, sweetness. Sweetness and light. Okay, fine. We'll talk here. Whatevs. So these are the Etcher paintbrushes that I got in the Painter's Delight box. And these are really good. I'm very pleased with these. The reason I was so happy to get these is because I'm still kind of on the journey to finding... Don't tell me, oh my god, camera. I swear by all that is holy, I will murder your face. I'm still kind of on the hunt for my go-to favorite watercolor brushes. This is my current favorite that I've been using for a little while. I really enjoy this one. It holds a lot of paint. It holds its shape really well, and it had a decent point. This point beats it. This point is pointier. This point is definitely pointier, and I really like that about it. They're roughly the same size, so I'm finding that sizes on these brushes are not standardized at all. They're wildly different, and I can't even understand why. I mean, of course, this is a completely different type of brush, but this is 6, and it's like huge. It's weird. But as far as the Etcher paintbrushes go, I'm very pleased with them. They have worked very, very well. I really enjoyed working with them. They did a great bang-up job. And as you could tell from my painting, I use this like 99.9% of the time. And the only reason I come in with this one generally is if I want to do something small and I want to make absolutely sure I don't accidentally put too much paint on the page at that moment. Like if I just want to put a little bit of paint, that's the downside of something this big that holds a lot of paint, is when you go to put the paint down, sometimes there's so much in here that the water on the paper will just pull the paint right out of it, and you'll end up with a puddle. And you probably didn't want that much paint. So for smaller things, when I definitely want to make sure I don't put too much paint on the page, that's when I go for the small ones. And these are the only two I used. I had a flat ready to use, and I didn't. I almost never use flats. I'm going to be honest. I don't really like flats. I like, even with acrylic, I don't really use flats. I use rounds, and I use my filberts, and that's basically it. I don't use flats to put down my ground. And of course, I don't do that with watercolor, so. But these are definitely really good. I really enjoyed using these. These are really high quality. I'm very pleased with these. I will be using these a lot. I would, if they had more options, I would definitely buy more brushes from these guys, 100%, if they had more sizes. Because I prefer going with a brush that I already know is good and just getting different sizes in that one brush rather than trying new brushes. So overall, I'm pleased with the brushes. The paper's fine. It'll work. I'll use it, but I wouldn't buy it. I really wouldn't. I would go ahead and do the better value with the Baohong. Hands down, no question. I mean, just look at that difference in the saturation of color. Like, there is just no comparison. No comparison. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed that, and I will hope to see you guys again sometime. Hope to see you guys. Blah, blah, blah. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to see you again next time.